Hello everyone, welcome to the market update. My name is Kay Kim with the Traders Club, 2tradersclub.com. Thanks for tuning in again for tonight's episode of the market update. We're going to talk about S&P 500 index, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and NASDAQ Composite. And if we have time, we'll look at the VIX, but I'll try to make this as succinct, as quickly as possible. And it's Friday night, and you got probably a lot of things you want to do. Market is still open, so we still have about 40 minutes before market close. You're seeing the light flashing on your left. Just means market is open here. As I record this video, market is still open. I think it still has 40 minutes to go here. As I record this, S&P 500 is down about 2%, 1.6 on the Dow. NASDAQ is about 2%. Semiconductor is down 3.12. VIX is up more than 30% there. So obviously, market is seeing a big decline here. So let's look at the market. Let's look at the level that we should be looking at going into next week and what we can expect. So on the last, if you've been following me on my video, on the last video we've been talking about this level of 2180 here. This was an important level. Obviously, you know, this was prior level of resistance. You can see here, here. Actually, so when we came down, when we got back up above that 1020 MA, we held below that. This was the last update. When I did a last complete market update, it was September 2nd, the complete market update, the Labor Day weekend special. And so this was an important level, and so we got above that level. This was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But a lot of things happened during this week. What happened was, first of all, we gotten above this resistance. That was a good sign in the minor term perspective. But we really haven't, we still didn't see that kind of a breakout. Remember 2 weeks ago we talked about Bollinger Band squeeze. Well, when you squeeze, when you see that Bollinger Band squeeze that long, and you know, obviously this market has been pretty much grinding for about almost 2 months here, just building that pressure. Why building that pressure? Because the market hasn't really gone nowhere, and it's been pretty much moving sideways for the last 2 months or so. So this is where a lot of traders and investors get anxious, right? A lot of people are betting their bets. This is because the market isn't going anywhere and people are getting bored. And so what they do is they're trying to either bet to the upside or to the downside. So a lot of money is kind of getting trapped here. So either direction it breaks out, it would have been a big move. It would have broke out to the upside. It would have been a huge move. It would have broke down. Obviously, today we're breaking downside. It's a huge move today. You can see the huge Marubozu candle there on the S&P 500 index, the daily chart. So, and obviously, it was a good sign that we got above this level here on the resistance, and then we got above that on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, instead of seeing a huge, maybe a breakout move above this resistance, what we saw that kind of a hangman type of candle. We saw a slight gap down, and then this was Thursday, right below this recent resistance, and today we gotten below this level. Remember this gap? Do you remember we talked about this gap? Because we had this gap before the Labor Day weekend, and remember we talked about the watch out for this gap, because we saw another gap down below this level. We'll see an island reversal, and we can see a huge move to the. So let's quickly recap here what we talked about. I just want to kind of use this as kind of a educational scenario. There is a chance if this thing gaps down, and if we throw something like island reversal, because this is a gap up, and if this thing gaps down, that will be an island reversal. Prepare for a very, very fast flush, right? So what we already talked about was obviously, this was a gap up, this is a gap down. If we see a huge gap down, that might become an island reversal, and we could see a huge flush move. And this was the last update. Again, I'm not, showing that to tell you that I called you so good. To be fair, I did talk about if we can have to stay above this level, that could be a good chance that we make new all-time high. Well, that didn't happen after this resistance. We hang below this resistance. We needed to stay above that resistance. We needed to see a huge bullish move. And I think really though on Wednesday, that was kind of a tell there, just was not confident, even though we saw that gap up, even though we were above 10 EMA, that was not confident. And then Thursday when it came down, we gapped up slightly, and then today a big gap down again. This is a level. This was a level that you know, there was a vulnerable level that I talked about in the last video update, and then we gapped down, and you're seeing a huge flush today as anticipated after a gap down here. So where do we go from here? What are the levels to watch after this? So I think just quickly here on the S&P 500 index, if you just zoom out a little bit, we're currently retesting prior all-time high. This is May 2015 right here, right? This is 2134 level. This has been acting as strong resistance, right? So now we're right at that level. I don't think it's going to go any lower towards close. We'll probably close in that vicinity. I think this is a potential level of support. I can't say for sure as of today that this is going to act as support. We need some evidence of that. But let's say if we don't bounce at that vicinity, we continue lower, next level of support is 2111 or 2110. I believe though 2110 level could be a much stronger support. So if should the price continues lower below 2134 next week or so, I think this level of a 2110 level, because this is a level where 100 SMA is residing, and this is a horizontal resistance, a pivot. This is a resistance in the past and could be a potential new support, and we have a rising uptrend support all colliding, coinciding in that vicinity. When you have technicals colliding like this, we got the horizontal support, we got this rising 100 SMA, and we have this rising uptrend support in that vicinity. That level will be a very, very important level. I can almost sure that there could be some bounce in that vicinity. I can't not say for sure that, you know, in here you're gonna see a full bounce like this, though it can happen. I would assume that should the market continues lower next week or two, then I believe that 211, 212 level is going to be acting as strong level of support to watch. Again, current support is 2134 though, so that's the level to watch on Monday. If that level breaks, then 2110 vicinity, and I made this red for you, so that's the level to watch. And if we break low, again, don't be so obsessed with that just that level. What I will look at is in that entire vicinity. So 2010, 2111, 2112, that vicinity is to watch. That's the level, again, coinciding with this rising uptrend support, and the 100 SMA is residing in that. So those are the level to watch going into next week. As of today, the minor term sentiment is bearish, with intermediate term sentiment still being bullish. Why do I say that? Because we have uptrend cultivation. That's how the market establishes uptrend. It goes up, it comes down, and it creates that high low. And then I'm wondering, that's what it's doing, right? That it goes up, and within an intermediate term uptrend, we're pulling back to create that higher low before going back up. And so at this point, I wouldn't panic or start freaking out. I would look for an opportunity. If there are stocks that you're watching, look for an opportunity to buy the dip. But what you need is you need to see an evidence that it's bouncing, because these are a potential level of support. It is not an absolute level, because we can just break right through it. It can just break right through it. I'm not sure at this point, but let's not deal with the data that is not there. Data that is there, so today we have broken below this support. I get that. I see that because I see it on my chart, and we're below that 50 MA. I see that, and because of that, minor term sentiment is bearish as of today, and we are right now retesting at 2134. So I want to see how it deals with 2134 Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and then should the price continues lower, I think the strong support then be 21.11.12, 21.11, 21.10 vicinity, which is colliding with the rising uptrend support, 100 SMA, and horizontal support. Again, this horizontal support is strong. That support will be a strong support level, and I can almost guarantee we'll see some kind of bounce. I can't say for sure that there will be, just ultimate reversal, but there will be, should the price comes to that level, there going to be some kind of bounce there. So the way I see this is not the level of panic, but it's the vicinity where the market cultivates, starts to establish this intermediate term uptrend before going higher. But what I don't know is if it's going to bounce here or here or here, right? So we'll have to continue to watch, look for an evidence, and then we'll react to that. Again, I want to tell you that look for an opportunity. When market pulls back like this, look for an opportunity. Again, I don't think the market crash is going to happen. There are plenty of videos I've done on YouTube why I do not think there will be a market crash in 2016. Why I think the stock market will see even a 5-year bull run going into 2021. And then when the market establishes an uptrend, that's what it does. Goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. Obviously, I cannot deny the fact that we have broken some of the minor term supports. And so I think the selling pressure will probably continue until next week, until we see evidence that this market is shifting back up in the minor term. We'll continue to look at this market bearish in the minor term, and we'll look for some of these levels as potential level of support. And if there's an evidence that it's going to bounce, I would think that it's prudent to buy at some of those levels and look for an opportunity to buy the dip with the evidence of a bounce. Hope that makes sense here. I'll go through Dow Jones here quickly. Dow Jones Industrial Average. This level, obviously this is important level. This was all-time high level here back in May of 2015. This was strong resistance. We bounced off of that, and finally, as of today, we lost that level. That was a 18,000 level, 18,306. And so next level of support is this level here, 18,089. And 17,990 level, and that's the level is coinciding with that rising uptrend support. Also, that 100 SMA is residing in that vicinity. As you can see, that 100 SMA going up here. So that's a level, important level for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So 18,000 or 17,900 level, 18,000, 17,900 level on the Dow Jones Industrial Average level. That's the important level to watch going into next week and see if we can see any kind of evidence. And once we break below that level, there are other levels to watch. For now, though, we'll look at those levels. Again, we have been faithfully cultivating higher highs. What does that mean? We're starting to establish primary term uptrend. Okay. And if you want to learn more about Dow Jones, a big picture analysis I've done here, you can go to my YouTube channel. So you can go to my YouTube channel here, and this is what I talked about Dow Jones here. Stocks historical breakout, prepare for new secular bull market cycle. That's a Dow Jones Industrial Average big picture analysis. So you can look at that. And there are other videos there to help you understand the big picture. So basically what I'm saying is, big picture, we're still bullish. In the minor term, we're pulling back to possibly cultivate and establish strong uptrend, right? So again, Dow Jones doing the same thing here. Again, we've been cultivating higher lows here, and we got higher highs, and I believe we're coming down to higher low. And sometimes what it does, though, sometimes you cannot always trust this uptrend. Okay, look at this. This was uptrend right here. Okay. And we broke below that uptrend. That was not end of the world. This is why most people misunderstand how to use technical analysis. Just because it has broken below the support, rising support, does not mean it's the end of the world. So let's say I have this support level, and I told you that these are important level, and you say, well, okay, we broken below that level. Oh my God, the whole thing is gonna crash. No, sometimes what the market does is it breaks below the support, but it creates another support, right? So the possible scenario, let's say if this thing does something like that, and you're like, oh my God, it has breaking this support, this thing is gonna go down, and then it just goes right back up. Then what you do is you do something like that, or you can do something like this, and it creates another support. So this is just a reference point. You have to understand these uptrend support. What I really will pay attention to is, you know, right now, I just don't give you too much. Okay, I'll do another market update and talk about other things. But right now, let's just focus on 100 SMA, and then, you know, 18,000 level and 17,990. Okay, 18,000. That's the level, important level on the Dow Jones Industrial going into next week. Again, horizontal support, right? Horizontal support, rising uptrend support, and the 100 SMA is all colliding in this vicinity. Important support. Let's look at NASDAQ Composite. I'll also look at Russell 2000 on this video. Russell 2000 or the NASDAQ. You know, obviously NASDAQ came down. We have a break. So that was important pivotal level there. We have broken above that level. And now, let's put in some of the support levels, the important levels. That's important. That's important. So we have this vicinity right here, 5,011, right? That's the important level. Why? Because it acted as important resistance back in late 2015, and this is a level we have a 50 MAs residing. 50 MAs residing in that vicinity. So 551.11. 92 level is important on the NASDAQ Composite. Should the market continues lower, should the price continues lower, I think the next level of support is a 49.80. 49.80 is a very, very important level. That's also, that's a level that coinciding with that 100 SMA here. So we got the 50 MA right at that 51.11, which is a horizontal support. And then 100 SMA just hoovering just right at that, another horizontal pivot at 49.80, right? So these moving averages are defending these pivotal level, this price level, right? So those two are the important level. If this thing starts fizzling around and slowly kind of going back and then kind of meet with the rising uptrend support. So this is a level, is a very, very important level. These two are important support levels going into next week and week after. So NASDAQ Composite, we have faithfully cultivated higher low, and I think it's going to come down to create a higher high. It's going to come down to create that higher low. That's what I'm seeing here. We did have a lower highs, and that was a warning signal. That was lower lows. That was a warning signal. That was an intermediate term downtrend. That was a cautionary signal. That was a dire situation on the NASDAQ Composite. But once we have cultivated that higher low and higher high, we're now back up. So we're cultivating, continues to cultivate an uptrend, and what we need is another higher low. So that's kind of what we're seeing here as of today. And obviously, if this thing takes out some of these major lows, then there's a huge problem. But as of now, let's not get ahead of ourselves saying that it's going to get below that. We do not have any evidence of that. We have many of these support levels that we're watching, 49.68, 51.11, and we have rising uptrend support. We have 100 SMA residing there, 200 SMA there. So all these vicinities going to be active, pretty strong support there. So going into next week, those are the levels to watch. And if I see any kind of evidence that there might be a bounce or reversal, I'll give you guys an update. But it looks like, as of today, again, the sentiment of this market, NASDAQ, in the minor term is bearish. For the intermediate term, though, we're working with the bullish sentiment, and we're looking at a pullback within an uptrend. I hope that makes sense here. Let's look at Russell 2000 and Semiconductor. I just want to go through all of it today. Russell 2000, the great news about Russell 2000, we have this huge inverted head and shoulder pattern. We cleared that resistance, got back up. We're pulling back. I mean, this looks beautiful. Russell 2000 looks so bullish at this point. Looking at weekly, monthly, I mean, look at all terms, looks very, very bullish. Looking at more of a big picture, we have a well-cultivated uptrend there in the intermediate term. We have taken an important high. This is a very, very important high. We have taken above that level. If this market was going to crash, if Russell 2000 was going to crash, it was going to happen there, here, and it would have continued to cultivate lower highs. But once he started to take out this pivot, game was over for the bears. Looking at long term. Looking at long term, yes, we're seeing a sharp decline today, but that's how this market does. This market is not going to go straight up. We will see pullbacks. I mean, without the pullback, how is the market is going to cultivate an uptrend without a pullback? It needs a pullback. We got to embrace that, because that's how it cultivates an uptrend, right? So we have for the Russell 2000, you can see we have that uptrend there. We have this horizontal pivot, 1204 level, and we got 100 SMA. We're still above 50 MA, unlike the S&P 500 index there. So that's a good sign for Russell there, because Russell actually made a pretty good move. And then rising horizontal support at 1204. If should the market continue, or this index price continues lower, we should watch this rising uptrend support. And we have 100 SMA residing at about 1177. So we have, I'll put another support there right about here, 1177 actually. Yeah, on that vicinity, 1169, 1177. So we have a lot of these support levels. Again, we have a well-cultivated higher highs here on the Russell. We got higher lows. I mean, another higher low. I mean, that's an opportunity, guys. I'm telling you, this is an opportunity to watch and buy the dip on these indices or some of the stocks you're watching. But again, you can't just guess. That is, you have to see the evidence that it possibly has bounced. So some of those levels to watch there. I'm going to go with the semiconductor here, and then I'll end this video here. Semiconductor had a huge move. We had a humongous reversal pattern here. Double bottom, higher lows, higher highs. We just, skyrocketed, and now it's pulling back. It's completely okay. Some of the levels to watch on the semiconductor here. Semiconductor is just very, very bullish. This level, that level, we have lots of support levels here. I can even draw uptrend here like that. So I mean, I think we're still above 50 MA though on the semiconductor. 750, 748, 729. Okay, rising uptrend support, all rising in the vicinity. Should the market continues to come down, this price continue to come down. 720, 730, 740, this all support there. We got 50 MA, 777, 770, 768. We got 100 SMA residing at 717. Worst case scenario, we got 685, which is 200 SMA. Any of these levels will continue to be bullish. Comes down. That's what this market goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. What does that mean? Cultivation of an uptrend. Higher lows, higher highs. Okay. You want to call market crash on looking at semiconductor? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because right now on the semiconductor, if this thing was going to crash, it would have happened right here. How? Come down, go up, come down, go up, boom. That's what would happen. Once we broke above this pivotal high, that's it. Game over for the bears. This market is strong. It is ready. Again, even when we broke out of this pattern right here, we got up, retested, and then that was it. There's no crash there. This crash wasn't happen. This would have happened right here. It didn't. Pivotal level right here. And then we saw what? About 3 years of bullish run. We saw some similar situation right here with this downtrend resistance. Pivotal level. I expect another 3 years of bullish run semiconductor. Semiconductor could even make all-time highs in the next 5 years or so. And I made a video on this, worst possible stage when you can go look it on my YouTube channel, on my blog, right here, when the semiconductor down here, right? Nobody wanted to listen at the time. Isn't that funny? When I've been talking about the market is going to reverse back up since, early January of this year, and nobody wanted to listen to me then. Now it's like, oh my God, he said it was going to happen. It's funny how our psychological behavior is that when markets seem so bearish, when anybody says that it's going to come back, you don't want to listen to it. But, I talked about, you can go check in my YouTube and my blog, the semiconductor could be the key level where we could see a bounce in this vicinity, because this was important resistance in the past, now acting as support. Old resistance becoming, you start looking at the big picture, and I talked about how this could come all the way back up. And it's gonna have its up and downs, but go look at your NASDAQ, how it reversed. Here, let me check real quick, just give you a little, right there. See? Retest, old resistance, new support, right? And gotten all the way back up here. That's what we're trading right now, right? And please don't tell me just because we're up here, it's going to do something like that. I don't see that happening at this point. We are making again, if that was going to happen, it would have happened here, okay, with the lower lows and lower highs. Understand the trend, how the trend behavior. Don't just call things, don't just say things just because some popular person who says that it's going to happen, right? Said the market is going to crash. This certain person been calling crash since 2011. So he lost all his credentials, yet people still listen to him. So I mean, anyways, just understand the market, look at the market, look at what he's saying, and because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, price is the only thing that matters. That's why technical analysis is the only way you can accurately analyze the market. And I hope you guys understand, and I just thought I would share that with you. Again, just quick recap here. Market sentiment is bearish in the minor term. We have broken some of these support levels we're watching. I continue to expect and assume that the market is going to see volatility to the downside in the minor term. However, some of the levels to watch are these support levels I have given you depicted in this video. Watch those levels, but don't just believe that we're going to find the bounce there or find the support. Those are potential level of support until we see evidence, until we see proof that we have bound, until we see tangible data. Let's say if this thing comes down here and then we start doing this kind of double bottom type of reversal and then we break above the neckline, then I would say, hey, this market is ready to get back up. Until then, benefit of the Dow goes to sellers in the minor term, with intermediate to primary term bullish sentiment. Hope that makes sense. Again, best way to connect with me is, this is my blog, twotradersclub.com. That's a Two Traders. And then best way to connect with me and follow my articles and videos is go over here and put your no spam. You can always subscribe out whenever you want. And you can follow the blog. Then every time I do a video like this one or write an article, you can get it on your email inbox. You can also follow me at Twitter and StockTwits and YouTube at 2K Kim. That's 2K Kim. But sometimes you want to make sure you get all of my articles. The best way to do that is to this here. So you would always make sure to get articles in your email inbox so you will not miss any. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments on my blog. Have a great weekend and see what happens next week. See if some of those levels act as support. And until next market update, have a great night. Happy trading. I'll see you next time.